What's up, everybody? This is your First Team Report, and I'm Ian Gilmore. Big news yesterday out of Tampa and, well, out of Indy as well, with the announcement of a USL Super League franchise for us. We will be joining the new Women's First Division in 2025, concurrent with the opening of 11 Park. So not only will our men's professional side be calling 11 Park home, but so will our future women's fully professional side as well. And speaking of our women's side, our W League season got underway last week with an 8-0 win over St. Charles. And after over a week off after that one, it'll be 2 games in 4 days for Paul Delinsky and co. starting this Sunday.
I think we had way too many unforced errors, right? And I think the girls would agree that they have a higher standard for themselves. I think a little bit on the defensive side of the ball where we were defending individually rather than defending in small groups, that will start to get cleaned up. But no, I mean, again, 8-0 win. And you look, they turned around, they lost to Kings Hammer 3-1, who, again, Kings Hammer we won and drew against last year, so we don't know exactly what to make of that first game exactly. I think the good thing is I'll be able to go back and watch the Lexington Kings Hammer game, so we'll prepare for them. Go watch the Kings Hammer St. Charles game as well, so I'll be able to have 2 games of our upcoming opponents under our belt. Lexington also plays midweek against Louisville before we play them, so I'll actually get 2 games of Lexington prior to playing. So again, from that perspective, we'll know our opponent pretty well. Ourselves, again, we've got depth. It's talked about, what's the team look like and so on and so forth. And I think the depth that we've got this year actually makes us stronger from top to bottom compared to last year.
Sunday's kickoff is set for 4 p.m. in Lexington. Now, our men's side is back home again this weekend for Military Appreciation Night. Colorado Springs is in town this Saturday, a team that is familiar to not only our new signing, Macca King, but to our own Cam Lindley as well.
I'm excited to play against them. I had a great time there, had a good season, and I really respect the staff. I respect all the players, that are there still. So it's going to be a tough game, but obviously I want to come out on the better end of the stick than they do this weekend. So hopefully we can get a result here at home. The majority of the attackers or the midfielders that maybe I play against or played with last year aren't really there. With Haji and Michi and Elvis, Zach Zaney being hurt, but there's still guys there that I know and I've played against before, and I definitely know their tendencies. The mood is just getting to work, digging our heels in, solving our own problems. It's only going to get better if we pull ourselves out of it. Nothing can be said or done other than the work on the pitch and the work done on Saturdays. So that's kind of where we're at. The intensity was really high. The fight was good. So we need that every day, and we need that on Saturday as well.
Well, there needs to be a response from the game this past weekend. It wasn't a bad performance because for 80 minutes it was fine, but the first 10 were embarrassing. And we let the players know that this morning, and it's not acceptable. We can't keep conceding the first goal in games the way that we do. Individual mistakes, individual errors, lack of concentration, those things are not acceptable. So we went through that this morning, and the response in training was really good. So hopefully we can turn a page tomorrow, and move on. And there's an understanding now that those mistakes, it just can't happen again, because if it does, we're going to have to really look at making some changes. Yeah, I think they're very similar to how they've been the last few years. So I'm very familiar with what that was. The hyper-aggressive, man-to-man kind of pressure. They're quite direct. They like to get the ball forward, but that leaves space open at the back, right? So we can exploit that. Obviously, we've got a couple of guys in our locker room that know them very well, so we'll have conversations. But it's a game that we're confident in. It's a game that we're looking forward to being back home after being away for a couple of weeks, 2 difficult games. So it's a game I know the guys, wish it was probably tomorrow to kind of get back out there onto the field and right some wrongs from this past weekend, to show themselves, show each other, show the staff, show the fans that they're capable of doing it for 90 minutes. And I think that's been the key this year. We've been fantastic for large portions of games, but for 90 minutes it probably hasn't happened yet. And like I said, lots of games you can get by, right, and get a point or a win doing that, but not against Sacramento away, not in those difficult moments. So we have to make sure that we start well. We got to chase the first goal. We got to be the team that's looking for that first goal, not a team that's making mistakes in the first minutes of the game and conceding and being behind the 8 ball for the rest of the game. That forces tactical change, that forces substitution patterns to change, which is what I've had to do as a coach in these games. Even against Loudoun, we had to change to how we defended after 20 minutes because they were kind of taking advantage of our back line, so we had to change there. Obviously, we're making subs to try and get a goal. I've said to the guys, like, we got to be the team that's 1-0 up. We got to give us a chance for the system to take hold in the game before we have to make these changes, trying to chase things. And that means starting well and not being 1 goal down early on in the game. That's the reality of the situation right now. The performances have been okay, particularly for large portions of the game, but there's moments, particularly the start of games, which the record of 9, conceding first 9 times out of 11, tells its own story, I think, and that's the message.
7 p.m. start time this Saturday against the Switchbacks. Make sure you get your tickets right now, Indy11.com, and I'll see you there.